Oh, hi. I'm very excited today because I've got something very special. I started looking around, as you may or may not know. I'm a big fan of fig fragrances, the fruit itself. I really love it as well. And I went hunting on some fig fragrances, and I wanted to actually have some more sort of a summer vibe from my fig fragrance. And I discovered that Dune, I remember that. That was a pretty good fig fragrance. It wasn't too fig forward, and it was nice enough to wear in the summertime. And it did last for quite a while from what I remember. So I went looking around. Funnily enough, they still make it. It's one of those scents from the 90s that they still make for some odd reason, and they discontinue some really awesome fragrances. Dune was good, but it wasn't the best. But still, it's perfect for what I needed it for. As with all of these fragrances that are from the past, they have been reformulated, and that's the big word that comes up every time you talk about a fragrance that has persisted over several decades of IFRA tightening its regulations. So it's wise to research, and that's what I did. So researching that, I found that yes, of course, Dune has been reformulated. So it's a shadow of its former self. It doesn't last as long, etc., etc. The same things that happen over and over again to pretty much all the fragrances that have been around for like at least 20 or 30 years. So I thought, okay, I'll go on the grey market and I'll see if I can source myself a vintage batch, because I don't want to waste my money on a full bottle of something that I'm going to be disappointed with. So I thought that I'd found something, and that's when I came across this thing here. This little 10ml travel box of Dune. I thought, yeah, you know what? That should do me for occasional wear throughout the summertime. And I knew that it was a vintage because, first of all, it doesn't say Dior, it says Christian Dior, and this is before they dropped the Christian and just became Dior. And the second reason was that the label on the bottle is completely disintegrated. Luckily enough, the juice itself hasn't disintegrated, and I did try it. It is a dabber, and it has some time to develop in the bottle as well. It's quite nice, but really soapy, and I couldn't really get the fig from it. Now, reading and of course checking the batch code, as fragrance geeks all love to do, batch codes matter, reformulations matter, and these regulations seem to be upsetting quite a few people. So after looking into it, I found that this was already post reformulation, and so I went on the hunt. I went on the hunt for some vintage Dune. Luckily enough, I came across not just one, but five vintage Diors. The person who was selling it knew it was vintage. It's never been opened, never been used. It's a travel pack, La Collection Homme Travel Collection. That's what it's called. And the first thing that they wrote was, they knew exactly what they were doing. They actually mentioned the batch code at the very bottom, which is 6L01, if you can make that out there, 6L01. And they mentioned that this is a vintage from 2016. And I thought, that's interesting, because if you look at the pictures on the back, a couple of things that stand out, a couple of things that will stand out to fragrance geeks is the following. First of all, Fahrenheit has the curved lid instead of the straight lid, which is a telltale sign that it's not one of the newer batches, and that the Dior Homme bottle has the silver stem instead of the black stem. So I thought, this guy's got it wrong. I did a bit more research into the batch codes for Dior, and turns out that this is not from 2016, it's from 2006. So indeed, I got myself a vintage batch, 50 mils all up. It didn't cost very much at all. And I'm grateful to the person who had kept it in unopened condition for that long, for 14 years. I was very interested and intrigued to find out what these were actually like. Now, I already have Dior Homme, I already have Eau Sauvage, and this also comes with Dune, so I can compare the Dune 2006 to the Dune 2012. And that'll be a nice, fun exercise for me to do. I can also compare the several versions of Fahrenheit that I have tried previously to this one, which I will also do. And I will also compare this Dior Homme, which is, I think, 1 year after Dior Homme was released. I think Dior Homme was in 2005, and then this is 2006. And then maybe the year after that, they went to the black stem and kind of changed the formulation, I believe. And so what I'll do is I'll compare this Dior Homme to this batch that I've got, which is from 2013. And I might as well throw in this one, which is the Dior Homme 2020. Side note about Dior Homme 2020, it's actually really good. I don't see why it's getting a lot of hate, a lot of flack it's copping on the fragrance community by all the reviewers. They're really upset by the fact that it's called Dior Homme. I understand it really shouldn't be called Dior Homme. They should have just called it Dior Blue, maybe Bleu de Dior or something like that, but definitely not Dior Homme. Don't call it that. It's okay. It's actually pretty good. I can smell compliments from this one. This is going to get people a lot of compliments. This one is not. This one I wear for me. This is one of my favorites. Love it absolutely. Few backups, of course. Okay, let's go ahead and show you what's in these little boxes. They kind of just slide out like this. So I'm going to slide one out. And none of these are spray bottles. They're all little miniature dabbers. And what I've done is I've basically decanted them. I've got like little 10 ml glass vials, and I've decanted them. Maybe I should just clean these fingerprints off like that. You see it's got the silver stem in the bottle, and I immediately can tell that there is a difference between this and this. There is a difference between this and this. This has got that waxy, lipsticky vibe. It's very forward for that particular note. This one, however, it's there, but the leather is actually quite a lot more prominent, and it does last a little bit longer, and it projects a little bit better. In my view, in the way I feel, it projects a little bit better. The differences aren't much. It's just in that top to mid sort of development that I find the differences. And in the base, this dries down very powdery. This dries down a bit more leathery, actually. And I actually prefer this over the 2015 or the 2013 batch that I've got there. But you know what? It's just going to extreme lengths now. It's not really worthwhile even mentioning. So that's Dior Homme 2006. Let's move on to Eau Sauvage. I've decanted quite a bit of this one as well. Here it is. It's a little miniature 10 ml bottle like that. I've never been a fan of Eau Sauvage. It's just too old manish for me. I don't know. I've always associated it to that smell. I've always had, yeah, it's classy, it's nice. You can just wear it with anything. I think I just shoved some up my nose. That's going to be there for a while. But, and there's a big but, why would you ever buy this when you've got this? This is ridiculous. It's so good. This is Dior Eau Sauvage Parfum. It's the 2017 edition, and I, for one, prefer this over the 2012 because the 2012 is too dark. This is a lot more wearable. It's a 3-season fragrance, except for summertime. This is a 3-season fragrance, day or night, and I'd probably, look, you can't really dress this down. You'd have to be dressed at least semi-formal to be able to pull this off. It's one of those kinds of scents. It's a special one though, and so much good in this. I just sometimes I'm just sitting there at night and I think, yeah, I might go see just remind myself of what this smells like, and it's brilliant, and it's one of my favorites. It's something about it that just grabs your attention, and because it's a parfum, my skin, which is notorious for not really working well with a lot of fragrances in terms of longevity and sillage, this actually works. So that's a plus. Eau Sauvage. Let me put that back in the box. And I like the fact that each one of these boxes comes with its own little podium inside. Okay, next we've got the bad boy Fahrenheit Eau de Toilette. Man, I tell you what, I did wear this. I have decanted a little bit out of this as well, and I wore it a couple of days ago. And petroleum is the key word right here. It is petrol. It's right there. Wow, it's something else, this thing. Love, hate, I don't care if you hate it. It's just, you need to appreciate this in order to really know what fragrances are all about. There's a reason why it's been around for a very long time. One thing I should mention is that even though this is a 2006 batch, it is not the original formulation for Fahrenheit. The original formulation for Fahrenheit was from the release date, which I believe was 1988, and up to 2001. After that, it got reformulated. The smell is exactly the same as the original formulation. It's just a little bit weaker. That's all it is, just a little bit weaker. I did notice that longevity isn't what people call beast mode or anything like that. It's normal, it's average, especially on my skin. It's below average on my skin, but still does well. I could still smell it after a full day on my wrist. I don't know if that was on my wrist or it was on my sleeve. It might have rubbed off because that was really good. I've tested formulations of this recently. A couple of years ago I tested. The petrol note is completely dialed down. This, however, is a leaky engine blowing smoke. That's what it is. It's so good though. So very, very good. I would have that any day of the week. I think Fahrenheit had a lot of its flankers. However, the original is still the best. Le Parfum I've tested, too sweet for my liking. My favorite flanker of Fahrenheit is Fahrenheit Absolute. Amazing, amazing fragrance. I'm upset that I don't have a bottle of it. However, it is not a Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit is this. Fahrenheit Absolute, it's got nothing to do with Fahrenheit. It's just the name that they've plonked on this on the bottle. Fahrenheit, wonderful fragrance. If you can find a vintage formulation, or if you do have one, lucky you. Okay, next up is Higher Energy. Oh God, the fingerprints all over this thing. Higher Energy, this bottle is a fingerprint magnet. This is extremely unremarkable. Yeah. Very uplifting, especially the top notes, very uplifting, very nice, sort of summertime. I wore it on a cold day, so I guess I didn't do it justice, but yeah, nothing much to say about that. It's not as good as Higher, probably, if that's what we're comparing it to. But yeah, again, another citrus sort of freshy, what they call a freshie, but it's not there for long. And last but not least, Dune. This one is the one that I was after. And did I decant this as well? I did indeed. And this one does have the lettering still intact on the bottle. And I've checked the batch code. All of them have the same batch code. And that does definitely smells fuller, and I smell fig. I smell fig, and I'm going to have some fun with this. What did I do with this? I mixed this with something. I did. I actually took a few mils out of the bottle and I mixed it with No, I didn't. I lie. I completely didn't do that. So that is my amazing find, trawling through the pages of eBay, or the grey market as it's called, to find exactly what I was looking for and more. So all my dreams were answered, and I fragrance geeked out over what I found and what I won. In the coming videos, I'll probably go through and do proper reviews of these 5 fragrances here. Probably not all of them. Higher Energy doesn't deserve one because it's just nothing. I've got better citrus freshies to do. I can compare a 2012 Dune to a 2006 Dune. That's one. I can compare Fahrenheit to Fahrenheit Absolute, which is not really a comparison. I can compare this to Mercedes-Benz Intense, which is again not a comparison because that one is a more violet forward. This is a more petrol forward accord. I've got Eau Sauvage with Eau Sauvage Parfum. Again, that's probably not going to work either. And I can do Dior Homme 2006 with 2013 and 2020, or 2020 as the kids call it. I could probably do a comparison of these, and maybe I can throw in a little bit of Dior Homme Parfum, which is the best one in the line. And yep, definitely the best one in the entire line. I don't care what you say. DHI is nice, but it's not this. It's not this. It's too likable, DHI, and too much cocoa for my liking. I like to eat cocoa, not smell like it. So, thanks for watching once again. Me geeking out over fragrances. I hope to be bringing you some more thought-provoking reviews and judgment calls on what is good, what is not good in the world of smelly things. Cheers. Thanks for watching.